Why discipline produces freedom. There is something that quietly unsettles a lot of retirees, and it does not get talked about very often. It is not money, at least not most of the time. It is not health alone. It is not even loneliness, though that can be a part of it for sure. It is the sudden loss of structure. For 40 or 50 years, your days, they've been shaped. There was a clock to answer to. There were people counting on you. There were deadlines, responsibilities, and routines. Then one day, as we've discussed this before, and it's so important, that frame falls. It falls plumb away. At first, it feels like relief. Wow. Then, for some folks, it begins to feel like the drift. I have watched good men and women slow down more than they needed to. Not because their bodies failed them, but because their days lost discipline. They stayed up later. They slept at odd hours, lost track of any schedules. Meals became random. A little more sugar here, a little less movement here, there, yonder. The walks got shorter, if they walked at all. The sunlight got less frequent. The water turned into coffee, and more soda. Nothing dramatic, just small shifts. And over time, those small shifts added up. We were told discipline was something you endured so that one day you could be free from it forever. Work hard now and later you can do whatever you want. Be free. But here's the quiet truth about that freedom. Without discipline, freedom turns into a drift, and it can be damaging. And drifts, it turns into the damaging decline. The older thinkers, they understood this in a steady way. They did not speak about freedom as the absence of structure. They saw it as the result of order. A farmer in the 1800s, for example, could not simply wake up whenever he felt like it. Crops had the seasons, animals had needs, the sun, it dictated much of the whole day. That was the constant rhythm. There was a pattern that this rhythm caused. That rhythm wasn't a burden, it was protection. Your body still lives by that rhythm. It always has. Sleep is not optional decoration. It is repair. Sunlight is not entertainment. It is instruction to your cells. Minerals like potassium, magnesium are not small details. They are electrical stability in your body. Now, over decades, the body keeps record of how you treated it. It remembers the long nights. It remembers the stress. It remembers the years of pushing and pushing. Retirement is not that end of responsibility. It is the beginning of management that we record carefully. Now, freedom in retirement does not mean you remove structure. It means you choose it. You design it. You choose when you wake up. You choose to go outside for morning sunlight. You choose to drink clean water and a pinch of Himalayan salt to get some minerals instead of flushing your system, as I talk all the time about this empty fluids, flushing everything out, and you think you're doing good. You choose to eat in a way that supports strength instead of chasing comfort. You choose to move your body even when no one is paying you to do anything. That is discipline. And that discipline produces the freedom that you're looking for and the freedom that your body needs. Without it, the body slowly becomes unpredictable. A steady decline. Energy drops. Sleep becomes irregular. Mood shifts. The mind grows foggy. You begin to feel trapped in a body that does not cooperate. That's not freedom. That is reaction. That is living at the mercy of what you did not manage. You just coasting through, drinking Cokes, drinking this, sodas, whatever. When I, for example, myself, when I let my eating drift, when I snack without thought, and I do, when I stay up too late watching one or more videos, I pay for it the next day. And when I do it over a period of time, my mind feels dull, my patience shortened, my body feels heavier. But when I fast, occasionally to reset, when I go to bed, at a steady hour. When I drank water with intention to step outside for real sunlight, something begins to change. I feel steadier, clearer, more capable. That steadiness is the freedom I'm talking about. The 19th century folks, the physicians, for example, they often spoke about constitution. They believed the body had an internal order that needed support, not constant interference. They observed before they intervened. They respected the rhythm. They knew that excess could be just as harmful as neglect. Too much stimulation, too much flushing, too much agitation. The body thrives on proportion. Discipline is simply proportion lived out daily. It is not harsh. It is not punishment. It is not about extreme measures. It's about small, repeatable decisions. A walk each morning, for example. Real food instead of processed junk. Sleep before midnight. Clean water instead of consistent stimulants. Water with electrolytes, as I can't reinforce that enough. A little time in silence, a little time in thought, a little time in prayer, that can steady you. You're not finished because you're retired. You're just changing careers. You're in the second act, and the second act requires more wisdom, not less. Younger people need examples of steadiness. They need to see that aging is not collapse. They need to see that freedom in later years does not mean chaos. You've lived this long. God blessed you with living and making it this far, not to just drop out. It means to establish calm order in yourself. You are the project manager now of your body. No boss is setting your schedule. No company is setting your standards. That responsibility can feel heavy at first, but it is also a huge honor. You get to design your day. You get to protect your energy. You get to build routines that strengthen instead of weaken your body. Faith fits here very quietly, not as panic, not as superstition, but as trust in order. Trust that the body was designed with intelligence by the Creator. Trust that discipline is not a cage, it is alignment. When your inner life and outer life move together, there is peace. When what you say matters to you matches what you do daily, there is strength there. I've seen retirees who live this way. They wake early, they're inspirational to watch, and you want to get near them and talk to them. They read, they walk, they mentor quietly. They drink their water with electrolytes. They guard their sleep. They eat simply. They're not flashy people, but they are steady. And there is something deeply free about them. They are not chasing. They are not reacting. They are anchored. That anchor is discipline. You do not need to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Start small. Set a consistent wake-up time. Step outside within 30 minutes of rising. Drink water before anything else. Good water like we've talked about. Move your body daily. Even if it's just 10 minutes or so. Start that at first. That's accomplishing something. Eat at regular times. Avoid consistently flushing your mentals with excess caffeine and sugary drinks. Let your body settle into rhythm again. Watch what happens after a few weeks. It's amazing. Energy steadies, sleep deepens, thoughts clear, mood it evens out. That is not magic. That is order returning that God has given to our bodies. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like in the moment. Freedom is having a body and a mind that cooperate with you. Freedom is being clear enough to guide a younger person, to leave a legacy, to help them. Freedom is waking up without dread. Freedom is knowing your day has purpose because you chose it. Discipline produces that. And if you are listening to this, sitting in your own quiet space, maybe wondering whether these years ahead will be small or strong, let me tell you this. They can be strong. It's up to you. But strength does not happen by accident. It grows from daily choices. We do not reject discipline. You don't do it. You don't reject the discipline after retirement. We just refine it and shape it. We make it gentler. We make it wiser. We make it ours. Now, I don't have all this figured out, and I'm still working on it myself. So let's keep moving forward on this journey together, and I sure appreciate you watching. Thank you.